Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics, and I'm at one of my favorite comic events of the year, the 3 Men in a Basement Comic Swap. I love this event because it's not just a comic show, it's so much more than that. It is a big hangout. Lots of comic collectors just hanging out, talking, having some adult beverages. There's even an after party, and it's a comic swap. People come here to trade books. I absolutely love this event, so come along for the ride, guys, and check it out with me. All right, here we go. Held in an old barber shop and tattoo parlor. And over here we have the big auction that they do. Raffle, I should say. Awesome. Gotta get my raffle tickets. All right, I got my tickets here for the raffle, and I'm gonna throw some tickets in for some decent stuff. I gotta take a good look at everything. These were all donated by people, which is pretty cool. Nice. Just throw a couple in here. Check it out. Josh! What's up, my buddy?
How we doing?
I'm doing good. All right. We have James over here from Brickhouse Comics, Connecticut staple. Where is he? There he is. Joe! What's up, bud?
What is up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for your stuff. You always have fantastic stuff here.
Certified bangers.
You do have the certified bangers. Let's go look at them.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on? I'm going to film this wall here of Joe's stuff, which is really, really crazy good. Oh my gosh, that Batman 227, that is awesome. Signed by Neil Adams. What? You're good. So this is the book I need. First Sentinel. It's got a subscription crease going down the middle, though. It's kind of hard to see, but otherwise, not bad at all. Hey, Bob.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, how you doing? Good to see you.
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. And here we have one of my favorite vendors. Jim, what's up, buddy? Second Alarm Comics.
What's going on, Mike? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Favorite day of the year, right?
Favorite day of the year. And you and I have had some legendary trades in the past, haven't we?
I'm hoping we're getting another one.
I have a box in the car. It's raining out. I'll come back in with it. So awesome. Yeah, let me see what you got. New silver collection. We have some ASM is Electro. Okay, so that's a stamp cutout. Rhino. Black Cat. Nicer Black Cat. That's cool. Wow. Nice copy.
If you're interested in anything and you want to take them out,
ASM, that's a great cover.
love that book. That's great.
Well, I was actually gonna trade it with you.
Yeah, I'm interested.
But I think that this guy might have got what I was thinking.
Maybe
Oh, no,
not
that's
the one you're
fine.
looking at?
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll trade with him.
Yeah, it all happens. It all happens quickly. Yeah, I get it.
I got stuff to trade.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I want to.
Awesome. Wait, how you doing? And this is where you can get the adult beverages back here. It is afternoon, but I do feel bad. It's kind of early in the day. All right, I'm here with Spineworks Comics, and they have one of my favorite comic books of all time that I don't own. This is Foom number 10, which is actually the preview of the giant-sized X-Men team. And as an X-Men fan, as a Nightcrawler fan, holy smokes. And I don't think I have that much trade on me, but that's a book I would not say no to. Dave Cockrum cover, 9-0. Wow. Wow. Sort of a dream book for me. I gotta film them. Jim, Bronzo Kong, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. You're here as a vendor.
I am.
Awesome.
I have a small but mighty collection.
Small but mighty. I heard someone just got a great deal from you on a Swamp Thing number 1. So, yeah, let's look through here. Right, Jim has a lot of early Journey into Mysteries. And I'm gonna, there's so many good monster ones, you know, pre-Thor. These are great. But I'm gonna jump ahead here. There we go, there he is. Oh, that's a great one there. Loki and Odin. Look at the front one here. And that's what I thought I saw. Look at that. Love that cover. So I'm here with the famous Streetside Anthony, and you had a gift for me.
Yes, sir.
What do we have? This is an omnibus of the Jason Aaron Thor run. Do you like this story?
Yes, I do. You'll enjoy it.
What a generous gift. I think my son would like this too.
Oh,
So,
yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's PG, so it's
it's PG.
yeah.
There you go. Exactly. So awesome. Thank you so much. Here, we'll do a lefty handshake.
Yes, a pleasure, always. Watch the videos.
Thank you. Do we have Barry Gary? You know, buddy? Good to see you. Always with excellent stuff. Oh yeah. That's not bad. I have one. Higher grade, but oh man, look at that. Staple looks a little fishy, but Chris Claremont wrote Snicked on this one. And this is another book, believe it or not, that's on my list. I loved the 2099 series, and this is the special Toy Biz version of this with the white cover, which is awesome. That is really tempting. Another great book here. Lots of great books. First, Red Suit Daredevil, Batman 251. Although the barbershop was closed during the event, the tattoo parlor was open, and yeah, people were getting tattoos.
There he is.
What's up, guys?
What's up, buddy? Yeah, Once Money Comics. All right.
There you go.
Good stuff, man.
Good to see you. What's going on?
How you doing?
We've got a DJ here. We got J&S Collectibles here. And we got Chew Kingdom over here. I gotta look what you guys got. What's the deal of the day? You guys got a deal of the show? Ah, okay. I saw you shopping. There you go. Lots of good stuff, though. All right, awesome books. Awesome books. Look at that. All right, there we go. What grade are we calling this?
No, this is intact, but it's like
I'm calling it
this one's
3.5.
like maybe top detached. Yeah, this one's to go.
I've looked at a couple of these today. Get a price on it? 5. All right, guys, I'm here with none other than Otto himself of 3 Men in a Basement. Otto, one of my favorite comic events of the year, man.
Really, honestly,
It's awesome.
it really.
Because it's not a comic show. I mean, it
Okay.
is.
It
but
is.
It's a hangout. It's a
Yes.
comic collector hangout.
Okay, that's what I love to hear. And some people have been coining this swap day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which took me back because all we started with was 15 guys getting together, and now 4 years later in this venue with the highest attendance so far.
Oh yeah,
and
packed.
Packed.
You know, you get great books, great vendors, but people are amenable to trades. You get some adult beverages here.
Yes.
I mean, you get a tattoo if you want.
You get a tattoo. We got a food truck.
And then there's an after party, a legendary karaoke after party.
Right,
so
which is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Because it's just a great way for us to sit around, break bread, talk about today. And here we have another vendor, Uncle Frank, who's only sets up once a year, believe it or not. So can I just tell you this?
Yeah.
This is why we love this show. Because we're only limited to our space. But half of our vendors are vendors that only set up once or twice a year, or who never set up at all.
Right.
So they're buyers who just want to get some stuff, and that's where you get great deals.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, even the dealers are trading, and they're excited to see books they don't usually get to pick up.
Yeah.
So
You know, to have Very Gary, J&S Collectibles, Streetside Anthony, and Brickhouse Comics in this building at once,
oh yeah,
and everybody else.
yeah. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
I appreciate
I'd
it, Mike.
never
I
miss it,
appreciate
man.
it,
Absolutely.
I
So
appreciate
I'm gonna go around, trade some books, and
Yeah.
maybe pick up a few with some lunch money. So
Yes.
hopefully I'll see you later, buddy.
Awesome, man.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.
All right, I'm here with Jim. Me and Jim have had some legendary trades in the past. Oh, using an LMC shirt to hold it in. Yeah, these are just books I usually use for trade, get some nicer stuff, and yeah, knock yourself out, and I'll see if you have anything I'm interested in.
Let's take a look.
So while Jim is looking at my trade books, I'm grabbing a couple things I'm interested in. First Electro and Cap 100.
But I think that would just preserve it and keep
Just
it
make
intact
sure it doesn't degrade any
because
further.
it is attached. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, where is it attached? Up there?
But
Drop?
yeah, it's attached, like right over there. It's attached.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
so this is rough.
It is rough.
This is rough, but it's still a ASM 9 First
is.
Electro. So
3 years at the swap.
Exactly. It's the third year in a row we've done a trade, so I'm pretty happy to bring this guy home. Awesome. Thanks, Jim.
Low
Appreciate
grade.
it. Low grade.
Low grade's better than
no
no
grade. There it is. All right, guys, so here's what the trade was. We have a few books that Jim pulled out. First Omega Red, first Red Guardian, first Damian Wayne, and Secret Wars 10, great Doom cover. All of those in $300, and I got first Electro. It's a low-grade book, but I think that's actually a pretty good deal, and it came down a little on the price as it is. So I have another first Spider-Man villain to add to my collection. Let me know down in the comments if you think those books and $300 was a good trade. I think so. I'm pretty happy. And I'm here with my good friend Cliff from Cliff on Comics. We've been hanging out all day, and I haven't filmed you once.
Remarkable.
Remarkable. I had to say hi on camera, right?
Yes, you could probably hear my commentary somewhere.
Probably. So, you have a good time?
I'm having a great time. It's the best medium size, small to medium.
It's a great way to put it. It's a perfect size, honestly.
I think it's the perfect size, but you know, we all know how particular I am about sizes.
Oh, here it is. And I need a raw in my collection. Nice coffee, too.
It's only about the price.
Wow. Yeah, that's by hands-free. I can actually show off the book, show the gloss. Look at the gloss on that.
It is pretty glossy.
It's got a couple of, they're not subscriber creases, they're a crease.
Little bit, yeah.
You,
But it's still like, you know, I mean, I talked to a bunch of people.
has this been pressed?
I think it's like 7-0.
And you want these two here.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. I think we have a deal, Jen. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Wow. Thanks, Jen. Appreciate it. Awesome. Favorite book of all time.
Nice.
All right, guys. Money-wise, I am absolutely tapped out, but I'm still here for the raffle. Maybe I'll win something. All right, here's the one I really want, the first Gambit.
Vin Manola.
All right, it was for a good cause at least. All right, guys, everyone is clearing out. The show is over. Certainly not the night. They have some karaoke planned. But for me, yeah, I definitely traded some stuff, but also spent quite a bit of lunch money. So let's go back to the house, talk about this amazing experience, and show you guys the amazing books that I got. Until we meet again. So there you go, guys. That was quite simply my favorite comic event of the year. That was the 3 Men in a Basement comic swap held at a tattoo parlor and barbershop down in Newington, Connecticut. Yeah, it's called the Angry Hair. Talk about a unique and awesome venue to have a comic show. I really hesitate to use the words comic show, though. I said a comic event. That's really what it feels like, guys. It really is a collection of comic collectors talking comic books, swapping comic books. You know, they have a DJ, they have drinks, they have food, and it just feels like an awesome hangout. Yeah, of course, there are comic vendors there, awesome ones from all over the Northeast, many of which are comic content creators. They have, you know, Gary, Bronzo Comics, Joe from 360 Comics, and so many more. Awesome people from all over the area. But it really does feel like a hangout. And this is the third year in a row I've gone, and I just can't say enough good things about the event and the guys that put it on. You know, 3 Men in a Basement, for those of you that don't know, not only are they comic content creators, but they're also comic event planners and promoters. You know, they do their own events like the famous comic book crawls they do. I always go on those. But they also put on this show every year. They put a lot of time and effort into it. A lot of people do to help raise money for the whole event. People, you know, donate books. That's what the raffle was. Then after the show, they clean everything up and they go out for a big party afterwards and do karaoke. I couldn't go this year. I went last year. It was epic. All around, I have to applaud the guys for putting on this amazing show. I look forward to it every single year. And again, guys, not just because there's amazing vendors to buy books, but because people are very amenable to trades. It is a comic swap after all. And I ended up with 2 ridiculously awesome books, which were partial cash and trade, and I'm really excited to add them to my collection. But before we talk about the comic books, guys, if you can do me a huge favor, head on down, hit that like button, and I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. We're actually closing in on 20,000 subscribers. That's insane to me. I can't even wrap my mind around that. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel and watched it over the years. When we hit that 20,000 milestone, guys, you better believe we're going to have one heck of a giveaway party. So if you have not yet subscribed, do me a huge favor and hit that button. I'd really, really appreciate it. Unbelievable. And also, while you're down there, guys, check the description. I'll put a link to all the 3 Men in a Basement's platform, social media presence. And if you're in the Northeastern United States, maybe you can make one of their amazing events next year. So the first thing I want to show you was actually a gift from someone pretty special in the comic community up here. Streetside Anthony, who is a legend, especially in the New York City area. He puts on an outdoor comic sale in the Bronx. He's good friends with the 3 Men in a Basement crew. I hadn't actually seen him in a couple of years, which is why it surprised me when he called out to me. And I found out that he's a viewer of Lunch Money Comics, which blew my mind. I didn't even know he knew who I was. But even more surprising, he said he had a gift for me, and it's a pretty substantial one. It's this. This is the Jason Aaron Thor Omnibus. So Jason Aaron worked on the Thor title pretty much all through the 20-teens. Some highly acclaimed stories. We have Gore the God Butcher in here, Jane Foster, Mighty Thor. We have some Dark Elf stuff with Malekith the Accursed. Volstagg becomes powerful, and we have King Thor. Not only is the storytelling great, guys, some fantastic artists worked on this, such as Asad Ribic. I love his work. It's absolutely beautiful. And guys, this is a hardcover, full-color omnibus. It weighs a ton. And guys, if you just look this up, this is not a cheap gift at all. These go for a lot of money. Still sealed in the package. Couldn't believe he gave this to me. I was really excited because I want to read it. I also think my son would absolutely love this. So let me tell you what kind of guy Streetside Anthony was, guys. He gave this to me. Blew me away. I felt bad, though. So I asked him what size shirt he was because I had some LMC shirts in the car. I'd been selling them for some charities, for the Lustgarten Foundation for Pancreatic Cancer Research and the Muscular Dystrophy Association, very close to my heart. So I asked him his size, ran out to my car and grabbed him a shirt with the intent of just giving it to him as a thank you for this. Well, as I'm talking, someone next to us mentioned, "Oh, you still doing those for charity?" And to which he responded, "Oh, well, let me give you some money for charity." I said, no, this is a swap. This is a gift. And he said, no, I'm going to give you something. And he handed me a $50 bill. And I was like, "Anthony, they're $20 shirts. Don't worry about it." He goes, "No, that's a donation to muscular dystrophy." So he gave me this and $50 to my charity, guys. What an amazing guy. So Anthony, thank you so much for this incredibly generous gift. Me and my son are definitely looking forward to digging into it. And let me know down in the comments, guys, if you've ever been to Anthony's sale. I've never been. I'm absolutely going to make a pilgrimage down to the Bronx sometime this summer. It's not too far away from me. What a stand-up guy. Anthony, thank you so much for this, and thank you for the very generous donation. So the first book I want to show you, I got from my good friends at Second Alarm Comics, Jim and Mike. I first met Jim years ago at this very event, and Jim's one of those rare dealers that not only loves trading, he's willing to trade little stuff up for big stuff. And at an event like this, a comic swap, he'll even trade it 1-to-1. So the first time we met, we had an epic trade. We were both super happy about it. So much so that we've made it an annual tradition. Every single year at this event, we do a big trade. I even went down to their shop at one year during one of those 3 Men in a Basement comic crawls and had a huge trade as well. So we both look forward to it. This year was no exception. I brought my box of trade stuff. which has dwindled as of late. I sold some books recently. I traded a whole bunch, so I didn't have much in there. But Jim went through and found about $100 worth of books. I went through his stuff. He has lots of great stuff. And I found this book. There was quite a bit of a disparity between the costs, but not only did Jim just subtract the trade value of my books from the price, he even came down on the price as well. And what did I get? Nothing short of this. Amazing Spider-Man number 9 from 1964, written by Stan Lee, art by Steve Ditko. And of course, this is the first appearance of Electro, one of the most notable members of Spidey's Rogue Gallery. Guys, I've been talking about this for a while. I've been slowly accumulating a good collection of Spider-Man's villains. I think right up there with Batman, he is the best Rogues Gallery in all of comic books. And these books are awesome to pick up. Any early Silver Age ASM is. But guys, here's the thing. When you get below ASM number 20, these books get very expensive, especially if they also have a first appearance here. This is one of those books that I knew would be kind of a hurdle to pick up one day. But this is a pretty low-grade copy. The spine is in very rough shape. The cover is still attached by a few fibers, maybe a few molecules, not much, but that's okay, guys. It's low grade, but it's mine, right? I'm happy to add this to my collection. What did I actually get this for? So he took out, again, about $100 worth of books, a lot of modern stuff I didn't care too much about, and then I gave him $300 in cash for this. You know, he had $450 on the price of the book, so he came down quite a bit, guys. I'm really, really happy with that. Once again, another epic trade with Jim. Jim, thank you so much for, giving me such a great deal on this book. I'm very happy to add this to my collection. And guys, if you ever find yourself in southern New England or New York, make sure you stop by Second Alarm Comics. It's in North Branford, Connecticut. Not only is it a great shop with some great comic books, you couldn't ask for nicer guys. Jim, thank you so much for this. So if that first comic book was amazing, I'm not even sure how to classify this book other than to say it's not only my childhood grail, it's my favorite comic book ever. No point dragging it out. You know what it is. Yeah, it is Giant Size X-Men number 1 from 1975. There's actually multiple stories in here. Most of them are X-Men reprints, but the feature story, written by Len Wein, art by Dave Cockrum, introduces us to the new X-Men team. And not only is it new characters, guys, they're some of the most iconic characters, not just for X-Men, but for all of comic books ever. We get in this book the first appearance of Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Thunderbird, the second full appearance of Wolverine, 4th if you count his cameos, and a couple other minor ones. This is sort of a tenuous claim. Some people say it's the first Ileana Rasputin, Magic, Colossus's little sister. There's no indication it's his little sister, but some people say that. Also, the first appearance of the Living Island Krakoa, huge in X-Men lore. Guys, this is a gigantic Bronze Age key. This is the book I dreamed about as a kid, and over the last 30 years, I've had many chances to get this book, and I always said, oh, it's too expensive, just to watch the price go up and up and up and up. So I have a copy right here. It's a beautiful copy. I got this from a guy named Jin. Jin's usually teamed up with William of Chew Kingdom. I see these guys at the bigger shows like Terrificon, as well as this comic swap. They're actually from New Jersey. And just like how I always trade with Jim from Second Alarm Comics, I always buy a big book from these guys every year without fail. Just fantastic vendors with just absolutely awesome stuff. Lots of books he had I wanted, but guys, this one here, it's such a beautiful copy. He was calling it a 7.0, and that is absolutely spot on. Beautiful gloss, some very fine color breaks on it. You know, the spine, it's a square bound book, so a little squished. But guys, I walked this around afterwards to a whole bunch of very knowledgeable people like Very Gary and Bronzo Comics and everyone. I said, don't look at the back. Tell me what you think the grade is. Every single one of them nailed a 7.0. I'm very happy with the grade of this, and it's a beautiful presenting copy. So Jin had this for $1,800. He also went through my trade box, pulled out a couple of modern books. I think they were worth about $150. I threw out $1,500 for this book. And Jin thought about it for a second and then took the 2 modern books and said, yeah, that's fine. Guys, it doesn't matter if this is my favorite book of all time. $1,500 is a lot of lunch money. Holy smokes. But I got it for 2 reasons. The first one is I had the money put aside because I'm actually going to Heroes Con down in Charlotte, North Carolina shortly. Yeah, it's a big trip I'm planning. It's going to be really fun. Mostly going to hang out with a lot of people. I heard it's an amazing show. I put some money aside to get perhaps one big book. However, I don't love the idea of flying home with a big book in my luggage or carry-on. It actually kind of makes me cringe. So here I am looking at this book. It's a book I absolutely want. It's in beautiful shape, and it's a fantastic price. I figured I'll just buy my big book now. I don't have to worry about flying home with it. But if you do see me at Heroes Con, don't be looking for me to be buying any big books, guys. Unlikely. I'm just going to go there to hang out. This is the big book that I got at Heroes Con, we'll say. But the second reason I'm okay shelling out that kind of cheddar is because, yeah, I already have one. I know some of you saw this coming. This is my first giant size X-Men #1. And I'm going to revel for a little while in the fact I have 2 of these. But for this story to make sense, I got to tell you where I got this and how I got it. I know I've told the story on my channel in the past. I'll try to say it quick. So I bought this book. It was actually pretty close to when the comic boom was happening. But remember, all collectibles were booming. I sold a ton of collectibles and I had some money in my pocket and I said, you know what, now's the time. I'm finally going to buy my childhood Grail book. So I was following several auctions online and I was on vacation in Maine, camping in the woods, and I had terrible cell phone reception. That's an important key to this story. Don't forget that. I was watching a couple auctions on eBay and there was a CGC 3.0 and it was one of those auctions that was ending in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day. It tends to have less eyes on it, and sometimes you can get a pretty good snipe, right? You get it for a pretty good deal. Well, I set my alarm on my phone for when the auction was ending. I jumped in, and I was shocked that no one was bidding it up. So in the final few seconds, I threw in my bid, and then the app kept refreshing and refreshing and refreshing. I had lost my cell phone reception. So I'm running around the campground frantic. I'm standing on my car. Finally, I get a signal, and I find out that not only did I not win the book, it sold for less than my bid, meaning my bid didn't go through, and it sold for about $300 under fair market value. I was disappointed. Well, in the least, I was disappointed. I was grumpy, guys. It was the day we were leaving, right? So I'm packing the car angrily. It wasn't meant to be. But right before we left for our long drive back to Western Massachusetts, I decided to go on Facebook Marketplace. I follow a couple of, comic sellers and people in the New England area. Opened it up. Right at the top of the feed was this book right here. Someone in Rhode Island was selling it. They had posted it an hour before. I could not believe it. So I had enough cell phone reception to send them a message saying, hey, I'm interested, would you do this price? And I kind of threw a lower number. They said, no, that's too little. So I finished packing the car, and the last second, I'm like, listen, this is my last shot, right? I threw in an offer that was in between the 2 numbers. I said, hey, man, I can pay you cash, and I can pay you whenever you need it. And we leave. We're driving home, right? So my phone is the GPS, and, the Facebook Messenger goes off, and I have my wife read it out loud to me while I'm driving, and she said, the guy agrees to your price, but you have to meet him in Rhode Island before 8 o'clock tonight. Now, guys, New England isn't that big. Maine's not that far from Rhode Island. The problem is I had my family in the car full of camping stuff. I had to drive 3 hours back to drop them off before I could even entertain going to Rhode Island. I did the math in my head and said, I'm going to do it. My wife thought I was absolutely insane, but I did. I drove 3 hours back to Western Massachusetts, unpacked the car, dropped the family off, drove 2 hours to Rhode Island, and I met this guy just before the mall closed in the food court. Literally, like the janitor was putting chairs up on the tables. We did the transaction, guys, and I'll never forget that drive home. It was dark. I kept putting the dome light on just to look down in the passenger seat and see this book. I was exhausted, guys, but it was worth it. And that's a fantastic story that I have attached to this book whenever I see it. And I always say this, guys, my whole collection, whenever I look at a book, it's not just the book, it's the story attached to the book. And I don't mean the story in the book, I mean my story with the book. I remember, if I got it in a strange and unusual place, I remember if I traded for it or if I scrimped and saved all my pennies to get it. I remember them, and the better the story, the more I love the book. So you can imagine I have a lot of sentimental value on this book right here. So it might surprise you to hear me say, I'm going to move it. Yeah, guys, I can get this book here because I can sell this book. It's definitely gone down in value, but if I sold it, it would go a long way to paying for this. And that's where I can kind of feel comfortable saying this is Lunch Money Comics, guys. I like to upgrade my books when I can. And ever since I got this, as much as I love it, I knew I wanted a better copy and a raw copy. And of course, this fits the bill. So yeah, as tough as it is. But here's the thing, guys. That story I just told you is not going anywhere. It's in my mind. In fact, it's immortalized on YouTube forever, right? But also, that story transfers from this book to this book. I can always look at this and remember how I traded up from this. So I'm okay with it, guys. And that's why I'm okay spending that amount of lunch money. But for right now, I'm going to revel in the fact that I have 2 of these childhood grails. Maybe I gotta sleep on it. Maybe I'm not so sure. Or maybe instead of selling it, I'll put it in my trade box for next year's 3 Men in a Basement comic swap. How would that be for trade bait? But head on down to the comments, guys, and let me know what you think of my pickups. Do you think my trade and cash were good deals? Also, if you're in the Northeast, guys, absolutely, you got to make this show. It's such a great time. And that's it, guys. In the meantime, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places. Do not be afraid to dream big in your collecting journey. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.